What was banned at your school and why? Buckets. They banned us from carrying backpacks between classes, so a couple guys started carrying around their textbooks in buckets. Edit. The reason given was it was a security/safety issue. We could still bring backpacks to our school, but they had to be stored in our lockers by the start of first block. After someone put Halo set on the network drive and it started to rival Microsoft Word for most used software in the building, they had to ban that. Unfortunately, the person responsible for making the announcement had the computer literacy of a mountain goat, so the official rule was something like don't be downloading Halo websites on the computers. Google. Our high school had some kind of contract with this really shooty school appropriate search engine called NetTrekker. They banned using Google in school because it wasn't scholarly, only NetTrekker was allowed. They tried extending this to beyond the school. They wanted us to use only NetTrekker for internet searches outside school and send home a pamphlet about internet rules outside the classroom. They said that students shouldn't have Android phones. I got a referral for having a Moto X smartphone. This was in 2015. Yo-yos. Kids turned them into flailing weapons. Some kid nearly lost an eye. Those were the days. Two-way hallways. Sounds crazy, right? The principal and his staff thought that it'd be a smart idea to have one-way hallways in order to cut down student traffic. If your locker was right around the corner and you had to go against the traffic, in order to get there, you had to walk all the way around. If you passed your class on the way to your locker, you had to make 2 circles around the building. This significantly increased tardiness and write-ups. Terrible idea. Any liquid not in a clear plastic bottle, and then the only liquid we could have was water. The ban was because a girl in my grade got caught with vodka in a clear plastic bottle. Everyone in my school never understood the ban because vodka is clear like water, and the only reason the teacher even caught onto her was because another dumbass kid was joking around about alcohol and the idiot with the vodka threw the bottle away in the garbage next to the teacher's desk. Edit. Went to a school in Northern MN. Edit V2. Since people keep asking, went to a school in East Grand Forks, MN. Sack-whacking guys would hit each other in the balls as a prank, or whatever. Apparently it was causing a big enough problem that the entire school had to attend an assembly where the deputy principal informed everyone there has been a large outbreak of sack-whacking. Entire school was laughing so hard, even the deputy, who was a really strict and uptight guy, started laughing his ass off. We were also banned from playing with large balls, basketball/soccer balls at the same assembly. That was also received very well. My school would report you to the police if you were caught watching Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life. Happened twice in the year it was big. Have no idea why, but they just didn't like it. Weren't allowed to dye our hair unnatural colors, banned hoop earrings, and running like Naruto, because a guy did that and fell down the stairs and broke his arm. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Steel rulers. Some guy bashed the shoot out of a bird with it. The word buckle, I kid you not. Back in grade 7 a few kids in one class had "is" word on a spelling test and thought it would be funny to just shout it out randomly. The teachers, believing it to be a code word for something more sinister, decided to outright ban the word across the school. Needless to say, the faculty became the brunt of many jokes both from students and their parents. Thermometers in middle school. Some idiots decided it was a fantastic idea to add mercury to their nachos. Caused the school to be on lockdown until the hazmat team deemed it cleared. Edit. Here is the link to the news article. http articles lattimes.com/1999/oct/14/local/me22279. Short selling stocks. Our class was the first to go through new mandatory financial literacy classes, and part of it was a stock market simulation. We began betting against the market when we set it up to crash specific stocks, and each time our money rose exponentially. We had to fill out paperwork for each trade, which ended up amounting to around 30 pages of trades. At this point we had trillions. Our teacher was also very condescending about how great she was at the market, so we then bought huge percentages of her stocks and sold them pennies on the dollar to crash her stocks as well. After a while she checked everyone's progress and found we were trillionaires and went into a rage, even calling the company to see how we had cheated. They said we had short sold, which technically isn't cheating, but she still disqualified us from winning the class game and gave us B's. Now there's a disclaimer before every class that says you'll automatically fail if you short sell. TL. Doctor, we manipulated the stock market in an 8th class financial literacy class to become virtual trillionaires. Got a B and now our method is an automatic F. We were banned from the gym at lunch. Used to go in the gym, shoot hoops, etc. Eventually we were playing dodgeball with basketballs. Errant throw broke the fire alarm and set it off for the whole school. We had to stay in the cafeteria after that. Candy necklaces at my middle school. One day a couple of my friends came into the playground before school started with a candy necklace each, which immediately got everyone's attention. After we all demanded to know where they got them and how much they cost from the corner shop down the street, and 10p as I recall, one or two others said they might go and get one for themselves before school started. That might go turned into them sprinting to the shop once one kid figured out how to weaponize them. Holding one piece of candy between their teeth, stretching forward the elastic and biting down, it would catapult pieces of candy at whatever it was aimed at. That morning a few kids bought a candy necklace each and played a game of firing bits at each other. The next morning all 400 kids that attended that school were engaged in all-out necklace war. Every single one of us must have had at least one and our own technique for maximizing the firing rate. After doing our best recreation of trench warfare all morning and having the kind of fun that only comes with an entire playground full of kids all playing the same game, we were all ushered into the assembly hall to be told that candy necklaces were now banned. Nobody lost an eye, just in case you were wondering. Edit, I our grandma badly. Yogurt eating contests were immediately banned at my high school when an overzealous football lineman vomited about a quart of yogurt and then attempted to re-eat the yogurt to win the contest. Domino vomit effect throughout the cafeteria. Dark jeans. Their logic was that when wet stand against white walls resting against them, the color of the jeans would rub off. Blankets. It was the South and they keep the account on too high because it's so freaking hot outside. Girls would wear shorts to be cool when outside, but they'd get too cold inside. Thus, the blankets to keep their legs warm in class. Of course, blankets are opaque. And they were already being used to cover up legs. Well, if a girl started sharing a blanket with a guy, yeah, things could get a little handsy. Google. They wanted to bank mail and someone kept finding alternate types and domains. Cafeteria trays. The events that led to this started with a fight breaking out in the cafeteria where one person stabbed the other with a fork. The next day metal forks had been banned and we were only given plastic forks to eat with. A couple of weeks later another fight broke out in the cafeteria and a group of 3 students beat another student using the cafeteria trays. After that we had styrofoam trays in the cafeteria. Hearings on guys. This turned into a huge thing with students doing walkouts and yelling at teachers. It really was a stupid rule and as far as I know was ultimately dropped. Trench coats after Columbine. They tried to ban chains and spikes at my school, but that didn't work out so well. Shag bans. These plastic/rubber bracelet things. Basically, if someone broke your shag band you supposedly had to have sex with them. A natural law according to some, but never, to my knowledge, ever enforced. The school got wind of it and became horrified that a bunch of 13-years would ever think something like this reasonable and came down on us with an iron fist. I vividly remember one teacher scornfully say so-called shag bands and then spit in disgust. It was hilarious. Cell phones. Someone decided to make an Instagram account consisting solely of pronoun with teachers' heads photoshopped onto the prawnsters' bodies. It was banned to share your Latin set texts translations with other people due to the volume of money a few of us made selling versions on the black market. Thanks Cicero, your pro Kelio paid for an iPod edit, because a few people have asked where this was. This was a Scottish boarding school, where all translation websites were blocked by the school filter. And I did classical Greek too, though that was a much smaller market. Candy canes. Apparently, they were a safety hazard because you could suck on them and sharpen them into a point, which could then theoretically be used to stab somebody. Most of our school suspected that it was simply a way of getting the ugly Christmas sweater club, a group of guys who wore ugly sweaters to school and roamed the hallways handing out candy canes while playing Christmas music, in trouble. It was by far the dumbest thing to ever happen at my high school. Pens. I'm not joking. Kids would buy somewhat fancy pens, and then there would be a bunch of trading duo who'd snag that Uniball. It'll give you 2 Pilot G2s and commotion. I remember there was a kid that everyone envied because of his Montblanc. Pretty soon, the school just banned using any outside pens and issued 2 of those crappy big round sticks. We were crafty though and started to replace the ink cartridges with those from our fancier pens. So yeah, it was basically prohibition, pen edition. In middle school, they banged the jerseys of a Japanese baseball player on the Chicago Cubs. The vice principal believed that Fukudome Fukudome was actually a joke, and he believed it said FCKU. Do me. True story. Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and Pokemon cards. Some of the kids at school started trading and selling them during lunchtime, but it got so bad as the kids were actually selling stolen cards they got from other students. My friend was swirled one morning for his deck, and later that day he saw a kid with his Dark Magician card. He knew it was his because he had a tendency to chew the ends of his cards. The teachers put a stop to all of it, including playing the card games and bringing them on school grounds. Had this little Bible study group that would meet during lunch once a week. It grew in size really fast, so some of the parents of the kids started bringing homemade lunches to give to the kids that attended. Anyone was accepted to join. They never ran out of food, and it was free, so kids that didn't have money or wasn't on the food plan could eat something other than straight junk food. It was stuff like sandwiches and chips, but still better than the shooty cafeteria food. After a while though, the group grew a little too big, to the point where the school board found out about it and shut down the parents bringing lunches for the attendants because it was lowering the amount of kids buying from the cafeteria. F-king ridiculous. After that, they instituted a rule that parents couldn't bring lunches to kids anymore. The overall reasoning was it lowered the cafeteria profits. If you didn't have money or a lunch, you were shoot out of luck. TL. Dr. Stoners outsmart administration. Drug dogs. They started bringing in drug dogs in my sophomore year. They would smell the lockers and cars, and if one hit on your locker or car you had to go open them up and let the school search it. By my junior year, a group of stoners had enough of it. They took barn water and put it in a bunch of spray bottles and sprayed it on all the lockers and cars they could. My school had about 1,400 kids in it. It took one time of having 300 plus kids pulled out of class to have the locker searched to make them rethink the policy. What really got the parents to force the school to stop though was the cars. When drug dogs hit on a spot they kind of go nuts. Imagine 25 plus cars getting a hit and having dogs scratch the hell out of the paint for a search that found nothing. Many parents didn't push it too hard, but some were demanding that the school pay for the damage. So no more drug dogs. Aerosol cans, because we would put them in the toilet, set them on fire and blow the toilet up. KFC, due to one boy constantly bringing it in. He won the biggest fan of KFC award at the end of school. My school finally banned the freshman auction after they realized it resembled slavery. Carrying backpacks in class, cause terrorists and shoot. When I was in high school we got permanent markers banned. Someone organized a game of assassins where everyone is given a target to kill, and if you're successful you inherit their target. It was $1 to enter, and the winner gets the jackpot. We had around 150 students out of the 600 in the school participating. The objective was to mark your target with a Sharpie on their skin and they were then declared dead. This could only be done in the hallway or the cafeteria, not in class or off campus. Well, our vice principal decided she wanted to participate, saying that if she won the money she'd use it to buy something for the school. Fair enough, we thought, so we let her in. Well, one of my friends ended up with her as a target, so in between classes one day he sneaks up behind her and does his best Sam Fisher assassination attempt, grabbing her mouth and slashing her throat with the Sharpie. Well, that was just too much emotional stress for our poor VP. She took his Sharpie, had him serve ice, and forced us to discontinue the game. No more Sharpies could be used by students or staff, and no one knows whatever became of the prize money either. We kept it in a jar in our principal's office so no one could take it. So we all hated our VP even more than we did before. Sweaters with zippers. A new progressive principal found a correlation between those dang hoodlums and zippered sweaters. Obviously everyone thought she was insane, so we all put tape over our zippers. Took a week to get back to normal. Beyblade. We used to flip bin lids over to act as arenas for our battles. One lad wanted to watch a battle more closely and got hit in the face when the Beyblades hit each other. Busted his lip. No more angry, spiky spinning tops. FCK sake, Connor. I think Altoids were in middle school after one wise guy put a turd in one of the cans and went up to a vice principal and asked him if he wanted a mint. Soccer balls for playing ball tag. They let us play with foam balls, but they were like throwing popcorn into the wind. Thus so a ball was born. The slapping game. Basically what you had to do was slap the back of someone's neck as hard as you could and try to leave a red mark. Apparently some people got knocked the frick out, so they banned it. Playing with any sort of ball-like object in class, because we always took it way too far and it was more of a brawl than a soccer game. Also magic cards because, and I love this reason, it excluded people who didn't have magic cards. All X-Files in addition to an extreme crackdown on non-work related sites. It got so bad that, unless the site directly fell under the category of scholarly, you'd need a proxy to get past it. The X's were banned because students were using the library computers to play Halo, say after school. Not to mention the dominant proxy used was UltraSurf, which was run off of flash drives as an X file. Normally it would overlook it, but this was before laptops were rampant, and after school other people had to get work done. The only issue was that the ban included teachers who were locked out from installing or running non-essential programs, running programs off of a flash drive, or even visiting YouTube for in-class presentations. During the ban, the big deal was a small group of individuals managed to hack the network and create their own admin account, which they mainly used to access YouTube and Facebook. But after the school administration realized the students were willing to go to such extreme measures to get past the ban, they lifted it. Of course, the ban was lifted after I left. TL. Dr. Draconian restrictions placed on students and 99% of school staff because of a select group of students who were hogging the library computers after school. Wearing a white t-shirt in middle school. Lived in an area where there was suburban, rural, and a sprinkle of urban within a 15-mile radius, so everyone got mixed together. Well, a small handful of the rural kids decided White Power Wednesday was gonna be a thing. You wear a white t-shirt to represent. At first it was a small handful, then the suburban kids saw a lot of people wearing white, so they did it too, most not knowing why. Before you know it, things got bad quick, so the school said no white t-shirts. Haha, I'm okay with being proud of your race/heritage/etc. I'm Jamaican and I rap the culture every chance I get. But being one of the few black kids in the whole school, it got intimidating. Especially kids yelling white power and I'ma paint this bus blue and spray no niggas on the side. When you are the only black kid on the bus, it's clear who they're forming against. Edit. This was only 8ish years ago. When I was in elementary school, wheelers were at the height of their popularity. The shoes were banned because the Board of Education wasn't about how fucky and sick they were. No fornication with fowl or animal on school premises. A guy named Robert got caught doing a FFA goat. Yes, he was called Robert until he moved